group members. The company that we have chose is Apple.
Apple is a prominent hardware and software company. Apple was founded in 1st April 1976 by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. Next slide. Apple's total number of employees in 2020 was 1,47,000, and in 2021 it was 1,54,000. It increased by 4.76%. Globally, there is an 89% increase in number of female employees, and in the US, there is a 71% increase in the black employees and a 104% increase in the Hispanic or Latino employees. Next slide. The D&A statement of Apple is the journey to creating a more inclusive workforce and better world begins with a commitment to a clear vision and accountability. At Apple, we take this responsibility seriously and we are continuing to make a meaningful strides towards creating a more inclusive and representative company.
At Apple, they ensure that every workers are treated with respect and empathy, allowing clear communication and speaking up when necessary. For example, like the Apple's business conduct policy, compliance at Apple, bring policy to life and being accountable. Next slide. Apple has informed employees that they are free to discuss pay, hours, and working conditions. The message came as some employees push Apple to do more to guarantee that there are no unfair wage disparities throughout the company. According to a copy of the letter seen by Reuters, Apple stated on an internal website that its policy do not prohibit staff from speaking freely about working circumstances.
So Apple ensures collectiveness by providing its workers with many work benefits and perks, such as health and well-being focus, commuting benefits, incentive for hard workers, employee discounts, and stocks. So Apple has launched a 50 million supplier employee development fund to increase access to learning opportunities and skill development. The fund also includes new and expanded relationship with prominent rights advocates, institutions, and organizations to advance Apple's continued commitment to empower supplier, employees, and raise workplace rights, understanding, and respect across sectors.
So our initiative. Since 2017, Apple has achieved and maintained gender pay equity for our employees worldwide in the US. We have also achieved pay equity with respect to race and ethnicity, as well as pay equity at the intersections of race and ethnicity with gender. We do not ask for salary history during the recruiting process. Our recruiters base offers on Apple employees in similar roles, and every year we examine compensation employees receive and make adjustments to ensure that we maintain pay equity. Next slide, please. Initiatives. Goal Outcome 1. Fair and equal pay based on merit rather than gender and race. Goal Outcome 2. An easy discrimination complaint system for employees to ensure they are treated with dignity, respectfully, fairly, and ethically. Next, please. Our goal outcome 1, increasing the number of women and unrepresented racial minorities in the company to promote cultural and gender diversity. This in turn will hopefully lead towards a more knowledgeable and inclusive work culture to stimulate diversity. Young women in Apple will also not be subjected towards the glass ceiling, as would happen to some companies. Next. Instead, everyone will be on the same playing field regarding promotions which are based on merit alone. Our commitment towards empowering women and racial minorities is evident as their diversity will become a benefit towards the company and themselves. We have achieved this goal by 89% increase in women employees globally and an 87% increase in leadership positions from 2014 to 2021. Next, please.
Moving on for Alex, I will now talk about the second initiative that Apple has done, which is an easy and fast-free harassment and discrimination complaint system. The goal of the initiative is to ensure that an employee is not subjected to harsh or inhumane treatment including but not limited to verbal abuse and harassment. They also aim to ensure that employees not discriminated against based on age, disability, gender, marital status, race, religion, sexual orientation, or any other status protected by law in hiring and in other employment practices. With the harassment and discrimination complaint system, employee and external party can report concerns or incident with option of remaining anonymous. Moreover, Apple has also promised not to retaliate against any individual who has reported a good faith concern or complaint. Moving on, the outcome of this initiative is that Apple has collaborated with Ethic Points to provide employees or other parties with a 24-hour hotline. This allows them to communicate issues and concerns related to unethical activity safely and honestly with Apple management team. This can all be done while protecting your identity. Furthermore, managers have also been trained to help their team navigate issues. They also receive specific training to outline their responsibility to receive and report all allegations of misconduct. I'm sure that employee can trust and report to the manager about any incident. As a result of this initiative, offender will be quickly reported and face disciplinary actions, up to and including termination of employment. As such, the workplace will be free of harassment, abuse, and discrimination. Now I'll pass the time to Thomas.
However, there are some allegations. In an informal survey including about 2,000 Apple employees, results show that there was still a 6% wage gap between the salaries of men and women. Apple eventually downplayed the results of the survey, insisting that the company does not have an issue with pay equity and that the results were inconclusive. Next. Claims by Apple that the company has solved the issue raise suspicions. These claims include insisting that they have achieved pay equity in the United States for similar roles and performance, and women and minorities earning $1 for each dollar that male employees earn. The initiations of the survey on wage issues were led by employees, now former, Cher Scarlett and Ashley Jovic. What we actually want is for Apple to do a third-party investigation into salary data on audit that we had insight to. Due to the results of the survey, more employees were prompted to raise their concerns on pay equity issues through channels like the Apple Do movement. Next. In response, Apple's SVP of Retail and People, or Human Resources, Deirdre O'Brien said, "When we find any gaps at all, which sometimes we do, we close them." This suggests that the senior manager at Apple feels that the company has already reached pay equity and does not see the need to take further actions. Next. Below are some personal opinions from people regarding Apple's pay equity debate. Firstly, from Sally Lee, a blog participant at Codelity. Between 2014 and 2018, there has been a small increase in the female representation within the company, growing from 30% to 33% in their female workforce. While it is a small increase, it is at least a movement in the right direction. Next, from Tim Warsaw, a Forbes contributor, the real cause of the various pay gaps is who works where doing what, not how the people doing the same job are treated. Still, by the stance of today, this is to be applauded. Next. So some suggestions include, firstly, assuming that all Apple employees are sharing salary information. So this will allow Apple's claims of achieving total pay equity in its mission and initiative statements to be able to be backed up. Next, make pay equity analysis methods more readily available on platforms such as the internet. This reduces suspicions of whether the claims made by Apple are true or untrue. This also allows employees and the public to understand the pay equity issue better. Last but not least, training managers on pay transparency compliance allows Apple to more easily achieve and sustain pay equity. Furthermore, during the allegations, one director actually discouraged employees from partaking in the survey. Next. Lastly, the dear maturity model. So where does this initiative by Apple fall in the maturity model? Apple is a progressive company which takes D&I matters seriously. However, Apple still has a long way in achieving full integration of D&I with all aspects of the organization. Apple's people team does push for employees to report issues regarding D&I, and Apple does see it as an important aspect of the company. However, some employees are still unhappy about issues like pay equity. Next. Thus, we feel that the initiative put forward by Apple falls under leader-led. Firstly, Apple CEO Tim Cook has repeatedly expressed his belief that diversity is the key to a good company and has looked to hire a wide range of people for Apple. Apple also does address systemic and cultural barriers, and progress, albeit slow, is being recorded and monitored. However, diversity and inclusion is not fully integrated in all aspects of the workplace, and Apple's workforce is not demographically and cognitively diverse. Next.
In conclusion, we feel that Apple is already a company that is progressive and takes D&I issues seriously, and more has to be done before it can be considered as one of the leading companies in diversity and inclusion. Here are some references, and thank you.